Hi everyone, I'm Dwayne and thanks for joining me today. Welcome to the channel. Today we're doing a Quad Cortex tone recreation for the song Open My Eyes by Rival Sons. This is a requested tone today and I'm really excited about this one because I've been doing a lot of high gain tones on this channel and I love high gain tones. I love metal, I love chug, anything so high gain and chunky, but you may not know this from watching some other videos if you have. I also love blues, I love rock, I love those crunchy edge breakup tones, I love fuzz, excessive overdrive, and today we're going to be diving into a couple of those avenues with the Rival Sons tone because Scott is well known for using fuzz in his sounds, and he's also, he's got a really nice sort of, vintage sort of sounding tone that, is very reminiscent of, early Led Zeppelin and, even little hints of Brian May from Queen and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to stop the talking and we're just going to get into it. So I've listened to the song a few times and I don't know how to play it properly, but today it's just about the tone. We are going to do some high gain in here. So I'm going to put a noise gate on there. It's just good to kind of clean up after yourself, right? High gain tone, you don't want super mess. Here's where things get interesting. There's a live video performance here, which I'm going to be using as a reference. And they're using orange amps in this particular performance. You'll actually see. You can see you got the orange amp in there. Now, there are some orange models on the Quad Cortex that we could use. I also do know Scott has switched over to using the Line 6 Helix as well. But this tone, it is something that you could get with like an orange amp, obviously, but a Fender style amp. You could get it with a whole bunch of different amps. A Vox style amp is probably, it's up there in the list of tone sort of amps that I'm thinking. But today I want to go a little bit different and try an amp I've been dying to use for a long time and haven't really found a need or use for it. And it's the Matchless D30. So because we don't want super high gain, tone without obviously using pedals and overdrives and stuff, we're going to go for the channel 1, which I think might be the right way to go. And because we're going for that kind of combo amp type sound, I guess you could say, I'm opting for a 212 cabinet in this instance. And there is, lo and behold, a 212. So we're going to try the Signature A. I have no idea what the difference between A and B is. But if we just play it with the default settings, you can hear it's really nice. If I turn the volume down on my guitar just a little bit. It's a really nice clean tone, but then if I turn the volume up and I dig in, I can hear it's getting there to the tone of the song. It's got that very much that similar sound that the song has, but we're going to tweak obviously with the song. One thing I can hear is the master obviously needs to come up. It's a little bit too quiet for my liking, but it's still, because you'll hear the volume control in here, I guess it's kind of like a gain. It's kind of like on like the jazz chorus or something, or a Fender, it doesn't have a gain knob, but it will affect obviously the So I can hear there's a little too much gain at 4.4, so I'm going to keep that at 4. And I think the volume also does need to come up just a little bit. I usually go for like a number like 2.4. Let's just look at our output now and just make sure we're not clipping. So we're pretty much spot under that sort of little clipping line there. We may need to adjust that because once we start adding in fuzzes and all that kind of stuff and EQing, it's going to get noisy. But okay, so now I'm just going to compare to the clean tone that they're getting on this live performance. It's not going to sound the same as the recording, obviously, but I just want to hear what they're doing to dial in the sort of the cleaner sound live. Okay, so I can hear there is a little bit of edge of breakup happening in there. Let's listen to that again. Yeah, so I can hear that we probably are a little bit too clean. Maybe he's using an overdrive pedal, but on this amp here, I don't feel like you need an overdrive. It's getting that, it's got overdrive built in. That's not to say we won't add a tube screamer or something in there just to kind of give it a little extra, what do you say, kind of little extra push. And we might actually do that now and then put the gain down like 2 or something. And then we'll put the level at around about maybe 6. We don't want to drive the amp too hard. We're not trying to do metalcore here. Let's check our output here and just make sure we're not clipping. We're going between that -10, -12 mark. Now, this is going to depend, obviously, on your pickups as well. If you've got lower gain pickups, you're going to have to mess with this stuff a little bit more. My pickups, as you can see on here, even though they're not actives, they are hitting the amp quite hard. If you look at the input level. In fact, I'm inclined to knock that down. We're going into the red a little too much. Okay, we're tickling the red now. That's good. That's a really good thing to just keep in mind. Some people say you stay at 0, but I do tweak my input settings because I don't want that terrible clipping. You know, if you garbage in, garbage out, right? So. Okay, now let's just compare to the clean again and just see where we're landing on the tone and what we need to tweak. But I feel like we've got the, you know, the chord sort of verse and chorus guitar down pat, just so I can hear it. Yeah, so I can hear that the tube screamer actually definitely helps a lot with this tone. And the settings that we've got in here sound pretty nice. If anything, maybe the overdrive comes down just a little bit because I can hear there's a... I'm actually really happy at that. This is coming together rather swimmingly. See, the thing with blues tones and rock tones and stuff is a lot of what you're hearing is coming from the player. I feel like it comes down to the person playing the guitar, but it's also the pickups and all that kind of stuff on there as well. High output, low output. You've got to kind of tweak and match accordingly, but this amp here, this probably is one of my new favorites over. I would usually opt for a Vox for this type of sound, as I said, or maybe even a Fender style amp. I've never actually used this amp before, but I found before we even added the tube screamer in there, it just sounded good. The tube screamer obviously gives us a little extra drive for the amp. It also EQs things a little bit as well, because the tube screamer isn't just a boost, it's an EQ, but you could use this for like a Gary Clark Jr. So you can see we've got a little bit of overdrive in there, and I'm really happy with that. So that's our clean. We're actually going to do is we're going to go into the gig view, and we're going to call this one, we're just going to call it normal. And then we're going to have a preset on here, and we're going to call it messed up. So I don't know if I'm going to use the tube screamer for the messed up sound. We may use a fuzz because he gets his sound with a fuzz. But herein lies the problem with the Quad Cortex. I find that the fuzzes are a little hard to work with, and I've always struggled to get them to sound nice. But maybe today's the day. For this particular sound, for the messed up sound, we're going to go and look for a fuzz. Now, I mean, I'm inclined to go for like the facial fuzz or something like that. Put that in there. We're going to turn off the tube screamer, and we're going to assign it to a scene for the moment. And just hear how that sounds. I mean, that sounds okay. I mean, there's something missing about it. What happens if you turn the tube screamer on with it? It doesn't sound terrible, does it? Let's play that against the song. Yeah, okay. It's not completely off the mark, is it? You can hear it's kind of got some of those traits of it. Interestingly, the tube scream is on, and I think we need it. I don't know if he runs a tube screamer on overdrive with his fuzzes, because really the fuzz should be doing all the work, but it's almost like we need it. The fuzz and the pickup level obviously turned up, but I think before we get too far into that rabbit hole of tweaking the fuzz, we need to add in like a reverb or something like that, just to widen the sound out in there, because I feel like it needs like a plate reverb or just something in there with a really low mix with the trails turned off that kind of widens it out just a little bit. And this may be the deciding factor in how much fuzz we use. The decay needs to come right down to like 20, maybe even lower. And the pre-delay, I'm going to put that down to like 10. I'm going to put that down pretty low. Let's just hear what that sounds like on the messed up fuzz. And let's go to our B preset, which is obviously our normal. And before we forget, we're going to... we don't want that one. We want to take the fuzz off, because we don't want fuzz in our cleaner tone. Okay, so the reverb definitely gives us an extra dimension to the sound. That yeah, I think the reverb definitely helps. Now, here's the thing. With the fuzz, I'm not sure about it. Now, does it sound terrible? No, but there's something about it. I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe we'll try a bass fuzz. Now, here's a little trick about fuzz is that sometimes if you use the bass fuzz, it can be a little bit nicer. No, that's a no-go, that one. Let's think outside the box here. We want distortion. We want we want like it to break up. We want it to sound messed up, which is why we've called it messed up. Now, I'm going to try something completely unconventional that may not do the trick, but I'm thinking, why don't we use like the Brit Blues pedal or something like that? Put the volume all the way up and just kind of... That sounds more like it to me. See, not getting the fuzz working is probably a skill issue on my part, but it just doesn't sound right to my ears. And I know he's using fuzz, but maybe it's just there's not a fuzz model on here that gets close to the fuzz that he's using, if that makes sense. I don't even know what he's using. Let's try the Brit Governor. Yeah, I'm not feeling that one. Let's try the Blues Driver too. I'm inclined to put that gain like all the way up on there, and the tone we'll keep there, and then the volume we're gonna start on 10. Too much volume. Still too much volume. Ironically, maybe too much gain. I wonder what that kind of lands us here. Let's assign that to a scene. Go back to B, and we're going to make sure that we need to remove the facial fuzz. I'm going to turn that off on the clean as well. And then... Okay, we're just going to compare it to the song again. what we're going to do now is we're going to compare our heavy tone and we're going to compare our opening sort of normal tone and just kind of just see where we land on the replication of it. I think we're probably getting pretty close. I think that we're there with the fuzz. If anything, I'm listening to it, I'm like, maybe the gain needs to come all the way up and just keep the volume. Yeah, I think that's probably more... That's more in the vicinity of what we're going for. It's interesting because the blues driver is giving us a fuzz-like quality when we push the gain up. It's breaking the sound up because you can hear in the original. Well, this is a live performance, but the mix is amazing. You can hear it's breaking up, like when it's hitting the amp, it's distorting, but it's still got some clarity in there where it's not a complete train wreck. It's just got that really nice, overly saturated sound. The one thing I can hear, though, is we do need to add some EQ in there, definitely. We definitely need a low and a high cut on there. So we're going to start off with a high cut on there, and we'll do around about 70, and we're going to hear how that sounds. We're going to EQ on the heavy tone, and then we're going to compare and make sure the cleaner tone sounds all right. Yep, that sounds fine. And then we're going to do a low pass of around about 6K maybe. Maybe 6K. We'll see how we go. Okay, that sounds more in the realm of where we want to go. Now, I can hear we want to do a little bit of a push around the middle there. Maybe slightly a little bit higher up, around about 1800, and we'll do a Q size around about 1.2, and we're going to push that around about 3, maybe 2-ish. Let's see. Let's just go to a clean tone to make sure we didn't sterilize it accidentally. That sounds damn awesome. That sounds really good. This video has come along a lot quicker than I was expecting. I was expecting us to get stuck on that fuzz for a bit because, like I said, I've had a bit of a turbulent history with the fuzz, but as you can see, what we ended up with was a tube screamer and a blues driver pedal. The gain pretty much cranked up. We might dial that down just a little bit. Just hit. Yeah, I don't think we want the gain dialed up super high. I dialed it back just because he has some clarity when you hear his tone. It's breaking up. Like when he drives into it, like but it's not a complete mess to the point where you can't hear the notes in there. Okay, so now we're going to try and play along with the song and see if our tone matches. From my ears, I think we've done a good enough job as we can matching real equipment here. And obviously, I'm not as good as Scott is at guitar, so pardon the sloppy playing. But we're just gonna give it a shot, hey. Not bad. I think we got pretty close. Now, one thing I did notice with that sound is we had that. And then we had that. There in the solo part, it's almost like there's an overdrive that kicks in, like solo boost. Maybe we'll just call it like boost. Third one where it sounds like it's the normal preset, but it's got a little extra boost on the tube screamer. So maybe in that instance, what we would do for this is just put up the level. And maybe some overdrive, extra overdrive in there as well. Don't know how to play the solo on there, but I can hear the volume definitely comes up during that solo when he's playing. So it does make me think that he's definitely pushing it with that pedal to boost it up after kind of being down at a moderate level. Let's have a look where we lay on that out. We are kind of clipping a little bit there, but we're tickling the red, so I think that's okay. Maybe we'll kind of put the overdrive there. Yeah, you may not need to use that. You could probably get away with this one. You can hear for the like. Maybe the volume on the amp comes up for this one too, perhaps. just good to have. It sounds like he definitely is kicking it up, but whether or not the volume on the amp is going up or is just boosting it, my hunch is that he's just boosting it. But I feel like because we can, we're going to put the volume up just a little bit extra to kind of give it a little extra pizzazz during the solo especially, but you can get away with not using that at all. So we ended up with 3 distinct tones here, and I think that's the sound. Obviously, it's not 1-1, but I think it's close enough that if you were kind of trying to replicate this tone live, I think it's one of those things where you would get really close to this and no one would question otherwise. One thing that we could probably do is maybe boost the treble up. Yeah, I think the treble definitely helps. We'll see how that factors in with the fuzz though. Well, the blues driver. Yeah, I think the treble needed to come up, and that gets us there. I think that's as close as we're going to get in this short amount of time that we've spent on this. But I would love to know your thoughts, whether or not that kind of sounded close, especially to the person that requested this. Sorry, I don't remember your name, but hopefully I did this justice and you think it's close. If we spent a lot more time in this, I think I could have got it maybe a lot closer. I may have gone for a Vox style amp, but you know, for a quick little tinker, if you were just playing in a covers band or wanted a similar tone live, I think this is fantastic for what it is. So I'm going to upload this to the cloud. I'm going to link this in the description as well. But yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching. This was a request. So if you have a tone you want to see me tackle next, it could be country, pop, rock, metal. I'll give anything a go. I did like the fact that this was not another, metalcore, metal high gain tone. Not to say I don't love that stuff, but I did feel like I was doing a lot of higher gain JCM 800, EVH 5153 type stuff. So it was nice to use a different amp for this, and maybe in future tones I may try unconventional amps that I would never think of using instead of falling into old habits. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have a song you'd like to see me tackle next. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. See you later.